Hello, I'm your host, Ron Sanders. We're going to start off today's episode with a breaking story. Our reporter Jessica is live in Venice Beach, Los Angeles, where the homeless crisis is worsening every day.
Thanks, Ron. The homeless crisis in Venice has recently reached an all-time high, thanks to this recent patch by Colossal Order. So we've come today to talk to people and to find out more about their life. Hi, can you tell us, what's your life like here, living on Venice Beach?
Well, there's a lot to tell. Venice is a very, very crazy place at the moment. I was actually living in a building just across the street, but the hecking government decided to demolish the building I lived in, and since then, I've been stuck here. I've tried to leave a lot, but for some unknown reason, I just can't move. I'm just stuck here, and it sucks.
Well, there you have it. Lots of citizens all seem to mysteriously be stuck here on Venice Beach. How odd. We have heard reports of this all over the world. Our sources inform us Colossal Order are currently looking into Venice's homeless crisis and plan on a new patch to help these poor people restart their lives.
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of my Los Angeles series, and in today's episode we're going to continue with my one-to-one recreation of Venice. Make sure you stick around till the end, there's a lot of really cool builds and some heavy detailing coming up. Alongside today's episode, I've also released 3 more decal and surface packs on PDX Mods. These are available right now, so please go check them out. I will go into these more later in the episode when we start to integrate them into the build. Before we get started, a reminder that if you enjoy the video, please consider liking and commenting. And welcome to all of the new subscribers who've recently found the channel since episode 1. If you enjoy what I do, you can also support me over on Patreon or by becoming a channel member here on YouTube. So before we get started, let's just have a quick look again at Venice Beach and remind ourselves of what we're building today. There's a number of interesting locations we'll be getting to, such as the Skatepark and Muscle Beach, but I think for now we should start with establishing the beach and the park area with all of the pedestrian walkways. The park is a really interesting shape as well, so this should be a pretty fun build. We will of course be using the image overlay mod to assist us once again. So I start by actually turning this into a beach. Now this was an early version of my beach texture packs. I think at this stage I hadn't even created any decals for this yet. So next up we're going to start to build out the park, and to do this I'm going to use net lanes to create the overall shape of the park's pavement and paths, using both the single and double white lines. I'm choosing to use net lanes so we have smooth curved edges. So once we have the outline all complete, I will add in surfaces to create a realistic path. Then vanilla surfaces didn't have the right look I wanted. The surface I need is a lighter shade and is tiled. So I decided just to create my own surfaces, and I have made these available right now on PDX Mods. There are 3 different surfaces included in this pack: large tiles, small tiles, and a plain concrete version to match. Okay, so that's most of the surface working now, and you've also seen me using my layering technique on the beach textures, which I have covered in a previous video. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch. So next up, we can add in the basketball courts. Again, the base game asset just wasn't the right fit. Colours are just way too bright and saturated. So again, I turned to creating some new assets to achieve this. So this is the second pack I've released today on PDX Mods, a basketball courts decal pack, and it comes with a few alternative colours for you to choose from. So I think this is probably a good time to talk about the timeline. As I mentioned previously, Venice was built over quite a number of months, so the majority of this episode takes place in the final few days on Thunderstorm. So there was a chance this build wasn't going to survive the transition to PDX mods, so I did try and complete it best I could just in case, but luckily, the save did survive. This was actually my first time using decals in like a proper build in CS2. Oh man, what time, it was so much fun trying these all out for the first time. So, I do go pretty heavy with the decals in this build. You've got to test them out properly. And, I'm going to rough up this basketball court with a whole bunch of my decals, cracks, damage and stains. Okay, so the park is coming along well, and I can now start to add in a number of more unique builds, starting with this police substation, which I'm guessing is like a control centre for a large part of the beachside. Now this is a really interesting building, and we certainly don't have anything like this on the workshop, so I'm just going to have to build it myself using props in-game. So the substation is mainly going to be built from storefronts and horizontal pillars. The pillars are a pretty good match for the police station and should allow me to create something pretty cool. This build was also my first time using the extra detailing tools transform menu. Up until now, we weren't able to raise objects in the air, so this opened up so many more possibilities. What I still love to this day about the transform menu is its fine control. Being able to change the increment down to like a fraction of a unit, this means we can be very precise with lining things up. Once the main structure is in, I can then detail it all up, and I'll also use City Rat and Tigon's letter decals to spell out LAPD, just to help make it feel a bit more unique. Next up, I saw this like structure nearby on Google Earth, kind of like an art installation. Now I haven't looked into this online, but my best guess is this forms a V shape when viewing from the front, a V for Venice. I'll build this from flagpoles and lampposts using the ETT rotation functionality. There's also this really cool graffiti wall down on the beach too, so we'll build this in also. You've likely seen this before, I used it in the Extra Mods trailer videos. In fact, you may recognise a number of builds from those videos. I just love how much graffiti is in and around Venice, and throughout these next two episodes I'm going to go pretty heavy on the graffiti, really try and capture the artistic look of Venice. Next, I move on to the skatepark. This is actually one of the most famous skate parks in the world, the birthplace of modern skateboarding. Now, we're not able to really replicate the bowls like in the real life version, but we're going to keep this pretty simple, adding in the vanilla asset and a few additional props to help fill the space and add in a bit more detail. So the park is coming along pretty well, but it's just really empty right now. I think it's time to add in some invisible pedestrian paths, so citizens can start using the park and the beach. The issue is that there's not a lot here to attract citizens to walk down here, but I want it to be pretty busy. So in-game pathfinding for agents, they'll always take the shortest route to get to the destination. So I had to make the walk along the beach the shortest route to reach another part of town, which is just down the beach from Venice. So either they have to drive quite far, or they can choose to walk along the beach. It is a little cheaty, I guess, for now, but at this stage we really don't have any other options to achieve this. This was also my first build using the snap to surface feature. Before this, we were using the transform menu and raising them up during testing. It was just such a hassle, kind of like in CS1, remember how we used to turn Graffiti into PO and then raise them up. So when we introduced the snap to surface tool, which was found in the asset editor, this was a real game changer for Graffiti and posters. I do go a little overboard. I'm sure you can tell I'm having quite a lot of fun right now. Okay, so for the final major build of the episode, we're going to be building the legendary Muscle Beach, made famous also by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who used to train in this gym back in his youth. He is now commemorated in graffiti behind the main building. We'll be getting to the building in episode 3, but for now we will build out the outdoor gym and the surrounding areas like the stage and seating. There's also this structure above the stage in real life, so I'll build a similar vision inspired by this. Okay, so to close out the episode, I'm adding in the tennis courts and car park as we finalise this part of the build. This will now conclude any footage filmed in the Thunderstore era. In next week's episode, we will be in more recent times, only a few weeks ago, and I will be armed with all of the recent mods, all of the cool new assets. We will be giving Venice Boardwalk a major renovation to get it as close to real life as possible. And it'll also finally have palm trees, and the beach properties, and the recolor mod, and move it, and all of the awesome new tools. So yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting. But before we go, I do have one more quick addition. So just like the basketball courts, the colour of the tennis courts, again, it just isn't doing it for me, and it's not the same colour as real life Venice. So these are my third and final pack this week, my tennis courts decal pack, and they come in various different colours, so go and grab them on PDX Mods. So yeah, that's it for episode 2. There was a lot of really fun builds here, really happy with how it all came out. Lots to look at and interesting spots. Episode 3 is also going to be a banger. I do have something new I want to add in this week, which could make it really special. I'm also interested to hear what you thought about the storyline element, the new story at the start of this episode. Did you enjoy that? Would you like to see more character development throughout the series? I also want to thank all my patrons and YouTube channel members for supporting me. It's very much appreciated and helps make videos like this possible. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next episode.